to you a while back, didn't we, about a meeting that the former royal known as Meghan Markle, sometimes Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, depending on which she's plugging, wanted to meet with some very senior within the British monarchy. But now, according to a very good source, this was the reason why. Hi, good morning. Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Nice to see you today. Beautiful autumnal points here now. All the leaves are turning brown, as the mamas and the papas said, as I told you before. Can't get that song out your head, can you, when you get it in your head, you know? Also, thank you for your very kind comments about the recent videos. Indeed, you know, the BBC newsreader. What I find incredible about that as well, I might point out, in case you weren't across that story, she's been suspended for a week on full pay, I might point out, while there's an investigation that we're going to be, charged for as well. It's ridiculous, she broke the rules, she should be fired. It's as simple as that. I really don't understand these people, but ultimately, they want a bit of fame, want a bit of attention, and no doubt they'll come up with some kind of excuse as to the reasons why they said it, and all allegedly will be forgiven. Not by the BBC licence payers though, obviously. Back as ever to your breaking royal story of the day. It's interesting this because there was a big movement in the House of Lords in Parliament all about exactly the Councillor of State with the former royal known as His Royal Highness the Duke of York, Prince Andrew, and of course a man that lives thousands of miles away over in California, Prince Harry. They're still on the Councillor of State list, and of course people are now re-looking at exactly the structure of the British monarchy since the sad demise of our wonderful monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. But according to that now, public note, which we knew about for some time, this had all been agreed and passed forward by the late monarch in advance. And this is not really good news, in fact, if you are Meghan or Harry, because what basically Parliament are pushing for is that there are removals, and they'd like to see Prince Edward, the Earl of Wessex, in place of Prince Harry, and the Princess Royal, Princess Anne, in place of the Duke of York. How does this pan out now? Well, as I say, this is just the very first sort of starting shot of that particular story, but it's not going to end well. Now, according to a very good source, as we told you before, and as ever we have to say allegedly, this was one of the reasons on her last visit to the United Kingdom that the former royal known as Meghan Markle would have liked to have requested that one-to-one interview with His Royal Highness, His Majesty the King. Now, apparently they just wanted to clear the air, all that sort of stuff, But according to that good source, Meghan really truly wanted also to bring up exactly where her husband stood in the line, moving forward, as one can imagine. Now, many might say, critics, obviously, snipers, whichever way you want to look at it, that they were just simply cementing the fact that this is good value for their brand moving forward. Whichever way, Prince Harry will always remain a prince. But seemingly, of course, there are two other options here. If he's taken out of the councillor role, and then, of course, the king decides to remove their titles, it's not exactly going to be great for their brand. And one can imagine exactly how Meghan herself felt that a one-to-one sit-down to, as I said, clear the air would have at least decided exactly which way they were going moving forward as, of course, the monarchy moves forward in the 21st century. As we also pointed out though, Meghan herself was rejuvenated upon her return back here to the United Kingdom and truly believes that this would be a huge mistake given the fact that according to her and her team, and indeed the former royal known as Prince Harry, they remain incredibly popular over here in the United Kingdom. As ever, when I know more about this new Parliament movement, I will let you know, but this is exactly where we're at right now at the time of recording. Also, I'd love to know what you think to this particular story, as ever, in the comments below. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.